Welcome and good evening, everyone, to this hearing of the Project Review Committee for 43D. This is a remote meeting. It is Wednesday, November 18th at 7 p.m. And in accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, chapter 30A, section 20 related to good evening, everyone, to this virus outbreak emergency, the November 18th, 2020 public meeting of the Project Review Committee for 43D shall be physically closed to the public to avoid group congregation. However, to view this meeting in progress, please go to facebook.com/LakeCAM. You do not need a Facebook account to view the meeting. This meeting will be recorded and available to be viewed at a later date at www.lakecam.tv/. Briefly, I'd like to run through attendance for the record. And for members present for the 43D committee, I have myself, Mark Knox as the chairman, Christopher Spratt, the vice chairperson, Chief Matthew Perkins, Robert Bouchard, Nathan Darling, Richard LaCamera, Liz Nash, John Oliver for the record. And for members present for the 43D committee, I have myself and Chief O'Brien. Also have the permits coordinator, Michelle McEachran, and Scott Turner from Environmental Partners is present and representing the town of Lakeville. Tyler Murphy from Rhino Capital and Whitney Gesner from VHB Engineering Firm. So the first item on the agenda is to discuss and vote on the completeness of the application submitted by Rhino Capital. At this time, I'd like to briefly discuss the letter of completeness. Does anybody have any comment from the 43D committee board? I see no comment. Scott from Environmental Partners, after reviewing that, it's my assessment that for the most part, the application is generally complete, but there are still some things that we may need as this process goes along. Correct me if I'm wrong, it may have been premature to have maybe a full set of building documents in the package at this point. But as long as VHB or Rhino Capital provides them with us, we would be able to consider this package complete.
Yeah, I agree with that. Typically, engineered plans are not submitted at this time for, I mean, traditionally in other municipalities, I understand that's in your bylaw, but that's something that's unusual in your bylaw.
Okay. So I'm going to go to the respective board members of the Board of Health, Conservation, and the Planning Board. Myself being the member representing the Planning Board, we as a board voted at our last meeting to deem the application complete from the standpoint of the Planning Board. Mr. Bouchard from the Conservation Commission, would you like to speak as far as the application's completeness or otherwise from the Conservation Commission standpoint?
Yes, I've had a chance to review all the materials that have been sent to me, and I'm satisfied that they are complete.
Very well. And Christopher Spratt, would you like to speak to that? I know we received a letter as well from Edward Cullen, the agent, but seeing as
so we didn't have the opportunity to put it on this agenda tonight. So, and the timing wasn't going to work out. So we all individually reviewed it and made our comments to Ed. And then Ed wrote a letter as our agent on behalf of all of us saying that we deem the application complete.
Yeah, and I have a copy of that. I think that everybody got one tonight, basically, that it was addressed to the permits coordinator, Michelle, that we have received a copy of the Rhino Lakeville Development LLC, Chapter 43D, Development Checklist, revised 10/15/20. After reviewing, the Board of Health does not have any comments to the schedule and are satisfied with the application. Is there any other discussion?
So, Mark, if I may, the only comment that I've made, I made it last meeting and I spoke to Tyler briefly about it, was the water allocation permit. And I don't want that to fall off the radar. I know Tyler was going to look into it. I'd be interested in hearing if him and Brittany came up with any resolution with regards to a possible pre-agreement with the city of Taunton for the site, or how they're going to address that.
Hey Nate, this is Tyler Murphy of Rhino Capital. In reviewing this list, that is number 12 for us on the letter submitted from environmental partners. And we are going to be retracting our request for waiver for this. And we are in agreement that we need to pursue this item and file for a water allocation permit or investigate what has already been filed. And so we are currently in the process of doing that. Brittany and I have discussed this, and we do probably have a couple of questions that are more offline questions, but are committed to investigating this and getting whatever water allocation permit is required.
Mr. Chair, that satisfies my concerns.
All right, Nathan, I also saw some comments when the letter of completeness from environmental partners went to VHB and Rhino Capital, that there was also a comment that if we were to make a motion, that the town would be able to reserve the right to request documentation that may not currently be included or complete in the application. Would you say that's prudent?
Yeah, I kind of think it goes without saying, but at the same time, we might as well make that part of the motion, or it would be my recommendation to make that part of the motion. Tyler's and Brittany have been through this numerous times. They know that in each individual approval or permitting authority has the right to require whatever information necessary to make an informed decision. In the absence of that additional information, you wouldn't be able to make a positive decision. So I think that we've been clear with that. I do not expect much to come up, but in the event that new information is required, I would like to make sure that we all agree upon that information, if reasonable, is in fact provided.
All right. So as far as if I was to make a motion with those two, call them stipulations, first one being subject to water allocation?
Yeah, yes.
Water approval?
Yes, subject to further investigation on the necessity to petition the Board of Selectmen for a water allocation through the City of Taunton Water Department.
All right, so if there's no other discussion, I'd like to make a motion for the 43D permitting committee to deem the application complete, which would be subject to the water allocation approval through the Board of Selectmen and the City of Taunton, and that the town reserves the right to request any other additional documentation that may not be currently included or complete in the package.
I second that, Mark.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. I'm going to do a roll call vote. Chris Spratt.
Aye.
Mr. Bouchard.
Aye.
Liz Nash.
Abstain. I still don't feel like I understand everything well enough, but thank you.
Rich LaCamera.
Aye.
Nathan Darling.
Aye.
Chief Matthew Perkins.
Aye.
Chief Michael O'Brien.
Aye.
John Oliveri.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. So that's all we have as far as the 43D committee current business. We have to approve some minutes. So at this point, I'd like to thank Tyler Murphy and Brittany Gesner for getting us all the information and starting this process. And we look forward to the public hearing process as the next step. At this point, I'm going to say that we won't have any other 43D meetings unless absolutely necessary. This board will sort of table their work, and Michelle McEachran will continue on with the permits coordinating as necessary. But I feel no other reason for this board to meet during the public hearing process, other than we may have a brief meeting at the beginning of the first public hearing, maybe 15 minutes early, to approve the minutes from this meeting. So at this time, I'd like to have everybody, has everybody had a chance to review the minutes of meeting for October 14th?
I couldn't find them.
Is that a yes or a no?
I couldn't find them, so I haven't had a chance to look at them. I was actually just skimming through my emails, and I didn't see either one. But
They were in the package for tonight's meeting with the agenda, sort of attached behind the environmental partners letter, and there was a wetlands thing in there as well that was included in.
I didn't scroll all the way down.
Okay. Has
Mark,
everyone?
I'll make a motion, Mark, that we deem the meeting minutes from October 14th, 2020 approved as drafted.
I'll second. John Oliveri, second.
All right, I have a motion from Nathan Darling and a second from John Oliveri. All in favor? Chris Spratt.
I'll abstain since I didn't read them.
Very good. Chief Matthew Perkins.
Aye.
Mr. Bouchard.
Aye.
Liz Nash.
Aye.
Richard LaCamera.
Aye.
Nathan Darling.
Aye.
Mike O'Brien.
You're muted, Mike.
John Oliveri.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously to accept the October 14th minutes of meeting. Next minutes on the agenda are the October 28th minutes of meeting. So I'll make a motion to accept the October 28th minutes as drafted. Can I get a second?
Second that, Mark.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Chris Spratt.
I'll abstain.
Very good. Matthew Perkins.
I was absent at that meeting, so I'll abstain.
Very good. Robert Bouchard.
Aye.
Liz Nash.
Aye.
Richard LaCamera.
Aye.
Nathan Darling.
Aye.
Michael O'Brien.
Aye.
John Oliveri.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously to accept the October 28th minutes of meeting. So I believe that's all we have on tonight's agenda. Is there any other discussion or anything that anybody would like to mention before we close the hearing?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
I wanted Michelle to kind of give an update as to where she is as far as providing the information on the website, and also, you know, how that's going to be handled, how the first public hearing is going to be handled, and how it's going to be continued, and what the process is that we're going to follow to make sure that all the abutters are notified. Chris had requested this, and we're going to make sure the abutters are notified after each public hearing to know, so they know when the next meeting is and so forth. So, Michelle, you want to give a kind of an update on that, please?
Sure, yeah. So as far as the webpage, Tracy is gonna get all of that together. She said she was hoping to get that done tomorrow. As far as going forward with the public hearing, as it's going to be all of the different boards and committees attending. Rich, as chairman of the Board of Selectmen, he's going to be heading that meeting. So he's going to have to introduce each board that desires to speak. Everybody will have to publish their meeting, have their meeting posted. And I do have an agenda that I'll be sending out that everyone can use because it's going to be the same for all the boards. And so that should keep it simple so that everyone is posting the same agenda for the same meeting we're all attending. As far as notification, are you referring to like more than just at the end of each hearing, or are you looking for additional?
No, what I'm saying is the butters have all been notified about the first hearing, okay? At each hearing that the planning board and conservation are going to have to at least continue that hearing to the next available date. And what we talked about, Michelle, was also sending letters to those abutters again that basically say the next hearing is on such and such a date, and this is how to access the meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Kathy's going to do that for us. Kathy Murray.
All right. Very good.
So, Chris, you're Mr. Chairman. You're concerned, Chris, about the website. There's going to be a banner on the front page of the website that says the Lakeville. What does it say? Michelle, help me. Does it say Lakeville?
Oh, the Lakeville.
Former Lakeville redevelopment. Read more.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody will see that right on the web page, Chris, right up front. So it'll be right there in front of them. So they click on that. And Michelle is working with Tracy to put all the links associated with the project and all the information about the project, right on the website.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great. Thanks, Rich.
You're welcome, Chris.
Rich, I have one comment and question about that. So if you're going to basically head that first public hearing, are you going to do that at all public hearings throughout?
No. Just the initial kickoff, Mary. Once the kickoff meeting is done, which is basically the overview with all the boards associated with the project, and then after that, you're in charge.
That's fine. So I just want to make clear for myself, Mr. Bouchard, and Chris from the Board of Health. So we're all going to have to open a public meeting after you open that meeting. And
That's correct.
And we'll continue that process throughout the public hearing process for every follow-up meeting. Would it be all right if, in the case of the first meeting, you read the order suspending the open meeting law thing, and we all don't have to do that?
I can do that.
Repetition, and then if I open the following subsequent meetings, I'll read it so that Mr. Bouchard and the chairman of the Board of Health don't have to read it. Would that be acceptable? It seems
acceptable. Yeah.
All right, I'm good with all that. Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else?
Go ahead.
Nope.
I'm all
That's
set,
it.
Mark. Thanks.
Thank you, Rich.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious, is there any progress on a tenant?
They can address that at the first meeting, Chris. I don't know. I mean, if they want to comment on it, I'm sorry, Mark, you can decide what you want to say. Job meeting.
I think your comments are reasonable, Rich. If you guys, Brittany or Tyler, if you want to comment now, you can. If you don't want to, you can wait till the first public hearing.
No, that's fine. We do not have any progress on the tenant at all. And we're continuing just to focus on this process and moving things forward on this front. I did want to say that in regards to the list that we received from environmental partners, that we are actively working on these items, making sure that this information comes together. I think there's probably going to be a few questions that are probably for an offline conversation and not for this, but I did at least want to state that we held a meeting with our architect today. Brittany and I have a large team meeting tomorrow to continue to progress the ball to address these comments that have been made. We feel that they are valid and helpful to the project, so we're happy to get this additional information together and continue to push forward on this.
All right, very good. So if there's no other discussion, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a I was just gonna leave you there, but I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, so I'll second it just to keep it moving along. I have a motion in a second. I'm going to do a quick roll call. All in favor? Matthew Perkins.
Aye.
Myself vote aye. Mr. Bouchard.
Aye.
Liz Nash.
Aye.
Rich LaCamera.
Aye.
Chris Spratt.
Aye.
Nathan Darling.
Aye.
Michael O'Brien.
Aye.
John Oliveri.
Aye.
All right, motion carries unanimously, and that's the end of the meeting. Thank you all. We appreciate it.
Okay. Good night.
Good night, everybody.